Earlier, Donald Trump claimed that Hurricane Dorian was going to impact Alabama. He was fact-checked by both ABC and, more importantly, the National Weather Service, which indicated no, the hurricane will not impact Alabama at all. Trump lashed out at the fact-checkers, and then today he held a press conference in the Oval Office to give some updates on Hurricane Dorian. And I want you to pay close attention to the prop he uses in the middle of this press conference. Take a look.
We got lucky in Florida, very, very lucky indeed. We had actually, our original chart was that it was going to be hitting Florida directly. Maybe I could just see that, Kevin. It was going to be hitting directly, and that would have affected a lot of other states. But that was the original chart.
So he shows a map or a chart where the hurricane was initially going to hit, right? And if you pay close attention to that map, you'll see that there is like a black mark, Sharpie mark, that extends from Florida to Alabama. That was something that the Trump administration added themselves. The original map looks something like this, where you do not see the black Sharpie. So rather than admit that he was wrong and that the storm's path was not going to go through Alabama, he decided to hold this press conference and use a Sharpie to mark over Alabama to make it appear as though initially the Weather Service believed that the storm's path would hit Alabama.
So guys, I know it's funny and it's what a child would do, but it's also not funny because he's the president of the United States of America and commander-in-chief, and has at his disposal the greatest military ever built by mankind and enough nuclear weapons to blow up the entire planet. And he's drawing in on National Weather Service maps with a Sharpie to prove himself right. And thinking that he won't get caught, every reporter instantly checked to see if there was any Weather Service map with that extra extended black area, and there are none. He drew it in, or had someone draw it in. Like, I know we've gotten used to it, but we shouldn't. That is a degree of mental that would get you fired from almost any other job, and all those other jobs are far, far less important than being president.
Yep.
I mean, if
what he did breaks the law, by the way. It is against the law. Let's go to this tweet.
No, yeah. Hold on, before you get to the law. To finish the thought, like I'm thinking, I think it would even get you fired at Fox News. But if someone here manipulated a story for their own ego and showed you guys something that was wrong on purpose,
right?
Of course, I'd consider firing them, and I'd pull them into my office and I'd go, "What is wrong with you? Do you need? I mean, you need a therapist, right? Why would you lie to our audience and say?" And this is a really important, dangerous thing. Which way a storm is going? It already killed many people in the Bahamas. It could kill more people, and people are relying on you. They believe you over the news, right? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, if it happened in a relatively small show like ours, there would be significant consequences. I think there would even be consequences at Fox News. I use them as the extreme example of like, who cares what we say, right? I mean, they even pulled Jeanine Pirro off the air for a little while for saying something outrageous. This is insanity. I mean, a child wouldn't do this. I mean, maybe, it depends on how old they are, 6 years old, 7 years old. 25th Amendment, your guys aren't getting it. The emperor has no clothes. And so we're all used to it, we shouldn't be used to it. Now let's talk about how illegal it is, which is also another thing we're used to.
So a meteorologist and weather reporter shared this on Twitter, and I think it's important to know that it is a violation of federal law to falsify a National Weather Service forecast and pass it off as official, as President Trump did here. And then he notes the exact law, which is 18 US Code 2074. Okay, so what Trump, but here's the frustrating part about all of this. Trump has broken many laws. The hush money payments, the fraudulent Trump University, using his charitable foundation to enrich himself, obstructing justice. He has broken all these laws, possibly inflating his assets to obtain illegal loans, deflating his assets to do tax fraud. The list goes on and on and on. and no one holds him accountable. So of course he's gonna keep breaking the law. Everyone treats him as if he's above the law, including Nancy Pelosi, right? So every time these stories pop up, yes, there's the comical component to it, and you feel tempted to laugh, and I gotta be honest, I did laugh. But at the same time, when you take a step back and think about it critically the way you mentioned, it's infuriating because no one is holding him accountable, and he has a bunch of spineless goons working for him in that administration who don't ever, try to keep him under control. They allow him to break the law and then they cover for him.
So look, I know that there's almost nothing that the president could do where his own cabinet will use the 25th Amendment. But is there anything that he could do where Nancy Pelosi would hold him accountable?
No.
And so what if he had, instead of using a Sharpie, had used a crayon and then colored it in, but like went outside the lines?
She would send him a strongly worded letter.
No, like because the president has lost his mind, and like, is there any limit? I mean, using a Sharpie to extend a National Weather Service map to prove yourself right when you're wrong. Like any other president, if Obama had done that, oh my God, if Hillary Clinton had done that, I mean, the national conversation would be vastly different. Why? Because Republicans hold the other party accountable, actually over accountable, like they would make mountains out of molehills. The Democrats make molehills out of mountains. I mean, we have Mount Everest in insanity here, and Nancy Pelosi's like, what Mount Everest? I don't see it. I don't see the insanity. So I want to give an alternate reality here for a second. Imagine if you had a strong Democratic Party and they had already started impeachment proceedings, and we're having conversations about the laws that he broke in campaign finance violations, his co-conspirator. Every day, imagine every day if the Democrats in those hearings put up a picture of Michael Cohen in prison. This man is in prison today. His co-conspirator is Donald Trump. His co-conspirator is Donald Trump. These are absolute facts, okay? And then the obstruction of justice, and then the monuments closed, and then everything. And then as you're doing those, and the drumbeat is gathering for like, Jesus Christ, how many laws has this guy broken, right? And then he breaks this law. And then during the impeachment proceedings, you go, the president not only broke a law, but has obviously lost his mind. That would be that's the national conversation we should be having. But instead, the Democratic Party is so pathetic, so weak, that they're letting this child monster run around with no consequences at all.
I also want to just quickly touch on Trump's dictatorial nature, because this story reminded me of Kim Jong-il and how he claimed that he never defecated because he had no anus. Right?
I mean, it's uncomfortable, but he actually said that.
He said that. I mean, these are the types of ridiculous, nonsensical things dictators say because they want to appear as if they're perfect, that they have absolutely no flaws, they're always right, they're the most powerful, they're the strongest, they bowl perfect games, right? That's the way that they communicate. And at the same time, while we're having this conversation, understand what Trump and his allies are doing to go after people like us, people at establishment news organizations who report the news. They are raising money specifically for opposition research, so they can destroy any and all credibility of these reporters. That's what they're doing right now because they don't want any negative coverage on Donald Trump. This is what happens in dictatorial regimes.
And so we showed you just pictures of Trump with Kim Jong-un, and it's his father that Anna's referring to. He said that the North Korean news agency said he had never bowled a game that wasn't a 300. I believe they said that he routinely shot 27s on the most difficult 18-hole golf course. A 27, Okay, I mean, all of these are so preposterous, but it is how you build a cult. And so here's Trump building his cult, saying, no, I am perfect. If I said it's gonna hit Alabama and I draw it in with a crayon, you all will go, yes, it was gonna hit Alabama. That crayon is correct. The National Weather Service is incorrect, right? And hurricanes be damned, facts be damned. Even if I'm gonna die in a hurricane, I'm gonna die because my cult leader told me. I mean, it is a neck and neck contest for who is more pathetic. Donald Trump drawing in the Sharpie, looking at a kid, right? His idiot supporters are like, yeah, of course. Donald Trump knows better than the entire National Weather Service and has no anus, okay? Or Nancy Pelosi goes, oh, yes, sir, Nancy, okay, yes, sir. God damn it, aren't you gonna do anything?
Nope.
And the answer is no. Schumer and Pelosi beyond pathetic. To lay down and surrender against this child, oh, it's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.